Talking about the top three. Odds of doing top three, the DraftKings.
Top three? The one you can read from over there now?
Well, Isaiah decided to make the type bigger because you were getting old.
Well, hold on. He went 2
read.
weeks ago where it took a magnifying glass. Now he's come back with, hey, look, I can read them from across the room. I think he's trying to mock me.
Isaiah, want to weigh in?
I mean, I'm not mocking you. I'm just trying to make it easier. I mean,
I think he's mocking.
All right. Well, while we're mocking, let's talk about these top three, the DraftKings top three. Now, surprisingly, while Chase Elliott is a co-favorite to win the race, he is not the favorite for top three. That honor goes to Kevin Harvick. He's at plus 145. And then we've got Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott at plus 185. And they're the only guys that are under 200.
But how many times in the last 2 years, Jeff, have we talked about Kyle Busch or Kevin Harvick being minus 150, minus 175?
Well, that has happened a lot in the top three. You're exactly right.
And right now, they're all plus numbers.
You know what's funny? It seems like with Kyle and with Kevin, they either win or they don't finish in the top three.
Yeah, no, they win or they're 12th. But no, those are good numbers for them. And we've talked Chase Elliott, hottest guy in the sport. Alex Bowman, 240. Hendrick Camp, Brad Kay, Joey and Martin Truex at 275. Dude,
And look, you got
good
those
numbers.
Three guys at plus 275, and then you got Denny Hamlin, who I know you're kind of down on Denny at Atlanta because he hasn't run well there over the last few times out, but a plus 300 on Denny Hamlin to get a top three. I kind of look at the fact that over the last 2 years, Denny has been just a much better racer. I'm talking about in 2019 and what we've seen in 2020.
True, but he hasn't been that at Atlanta.
No, but what'd you say? He finished fourth last year?
No, 11th last year.
11th last year. Okay. So, I mean, it wasn't horrible.
I mean, I look at a guy like Jimmy Johnson, who we talk about all the time. Jimmy's little resurgence here. And Jimmy, he has 2 firsts, now going back to 15 and 16, and then 19, 27, 24. That's the what have you done for me lately? Jimmy Johnson, we've talked about. He was not that good anymore. But with this new package, the way he's been running, do we put him back in the conversation?
Well, he's coming in at plus 450, and I actually really like that number on Jimmy Johnson because I think that Jimmy...
I don't think it's big enough for me to jump on him. I think it still needs to be bigger.
Well, and maybe his odds could go up a little higher. Let's see what kind of betting we get on him. We look right beneath that. We've got Clint Boyer, Eric Jones, both coming in at plus 600. William Byron, plus 850. And then we get into Matt DiBenedetto and Eric Almirola, 10-1 and 12-1, respectively. Wow. I'm not sure. I think those are pretty low numbers on a couple of those guys there.
Eric Jones, his last finish there, he finished 7th. And Eric Jones is one of those that, man, when Eric Jones shows up well, he does do very well. I'm more interested in going down that list and getting towards that, like you said, Eric Almirola, Matt Kenseth, that range. How about Ricky Stenhouse Jr.? I mean, surprised us with a 4th place finish at the Coke 600 a couple weeks ago. Where it sounds like I say a couple weeks ago because it was.
That's because we keep running two races
a week.
2 races a week.
Ricky Stenhouse, 14-1, he surprised a lot of people there. I would not go so far as say I think he's going to surprise me again, but it's there. And Tyler Reddick has run well. Austin Dillon has run well. I mean, 12 and 16-1. I don't know if I'm ready for a top 3 with them, but there's some numbers in the top 3 that I do like just looking at that plus 600 range, plus 450 range, even plus 275 range I like.
Yeah, it's just the thing with Atlanta is you're probably not going to get some guy that's going to just luck into a top 3.
No.
It just doesn't typically happen there. You don't see the big, it's not like a big pileup like a Daytona or Talladega. You really don't even have that much for fuel mileage races because the tire wear almost goes away before a fuel run.
Caution comes out and I go, tires, please. How many? You've only done 5 tires. I mean, that's Atlanta.
And I think that's going to be a big thing that's going to play into it. And that's why I think you're really going to look at the guys who consistently run well are the guys you're really going to want to bet. I just don't see taking a big flyer on a guy for a top 3 that's got a big number or a race win who's got a big number.
No, I mean, I'm going to look at the stats that we've talked about, and I'm going to go back and look at the guys that we know right now are hot, the Chase Elliott's, who has a decent number with a plus 185, the Brad Keselowski's, who, like you said, lucked into 2 wins, but he was sitting in the top 3 both those races to get those 2 wins. So I'm going to look at a guy like Brad Keselowski at 275. I might go down to that Kurt Busch number because Kurt Busch has been really good there at plus 400. I like those.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that you're going to see there. I mean, I just can't see where you're going to take a John Hunter Nemechek to come in and
do it.
Get
Look,
the top 3.
If he gets the top 10, that's what we love. John Hunter's been doing great. Top 10's phenomenal. Great job, John Hunter.
Yeah, but
that's a long way away from a
but
top
that's my
three.
point. But that's what we're talking about. Really, is just. I mean, we're just only going to talk about top 3. I mean, if you start putting odds on top 10s,
You give me a top 10 number, that's a different story. I'm going to, those numbers are going to be much more paltry, and I'm going to be jumping on something like John Hunter.
Well, when we come back after this break, we go into the next segment. We're going to be able to start talking about our driver head-to-head matchup.